obviously very disappointing. Got to give the credit to FIU. They played extremely well, had a good game plan for us, did a few things differently on both sides of the ball. We just didn't do as good a job as what we need to with adjustments. There were some times to make some plays, and we didn't quite make them. So, like I tell our guys, every win is a team win. Every loss is a team loss too. So we got to do a much better job. And we reviewed the tape on Monday and made corrections. And and during the season, you got to flip the page quickly. And they owned time of possession against us. They did a good job converting on third downs and fourth downs, particularly in the first half. Kept our offense off the field, kept our defense on the field, and we just never really seemed to get in much of a rhythm offensively. Big mistake in the kicking game, late in the ball game to give us a long field, and every team we play, we got to be on point. But it's like I told our guys, you saw the game the week before, you'd have never thought the team that won that game would have played the way we did, or the team that lost the game would have played the way they did the following week. So we got to bounce back and got a really tough opponent coming up in South Florida. I believe they're a 13th ranked team in the nation. Probably, I would guess it would be the highest ranked team to come into Ullman Stadium, probably one of the highest ranked teams that Tulane's played at home in a long time, I'd imagine. Heisman Trophy candidate for a quarterback, run the ball extremely well, got good backs, big offensive line, quarterback's a big-time run threat, but they also throw the ball very effectively. They got some big talented receivers. Defensively, I don't think they get enough credit. I believe they're the only team in the top 10 in the country in both yards allowed, rushing, and also yards per game. They're the other team in that category is Alabama, so they got some pretty good company. Good corners. They'll play a lot of man coverage. Big defensive line, up front. So hey, it's going to be a tremendous challenge for us. But we need to have a great week of preparation and play lights out Saturday night. Anybody got any questions? Thank you.
Where do you see the
I'll get out of here quick if you don't have them.
Where do you see the biggest thumbprints from Charlie Strong just in his first year with this team?
It's hard to say. I obviously I didn't watch him from a year ago at all, but obviously previous coaching staff did an outstanding job recruiting, and they had a great team a year ago as well. I would say probably the biggest difference is, they're really playing great defense. I know, and that's especially of Coach Strong. So that probably where you see the biggest change in them. I think they've gone 23, 24 weeks in a row, scoring over 30 points. So they've been playing good offense for a long time. I think it's the NCAA record, I believe.
Coach, it's easy for people outside the program to look at last week and say, after the last two games, it went to their heads, they weren't focused. Do you see any evidence that
Boy, I hope not. I could see why people would say that after the way we played. But, the one thing I do is I'm very consistent in our preparation week after week after week, regardless of the previous outcome. And we just, there's a lot of things we'd like to do different, but, hindsight's 20/20.
Was there a genuine shock from players that they felt prepared going in and they walked away?
I think they felt prepared. The thing we got to do a better job of is adjustments during the game. Sometimes with what we do offensively, you don't get exactly what you hope you're getting, and you work for it. And, you got to always work on the what ifs, but you can't work on 20 different things. You got to kind of narrow down your focus. And, we just didn't make the adjustments quick enough and and we're able to go out and execute the adjustments. Defensively, they ran a few different things. They got in some unbalance, never shown. Ran more zone read, had shown that very little. Fly sweep, shown that very little, especially short side of the field. And you got to make adjustments on the fly, and so that's, it's hard to fit things up, you need a few practice opportunities. Unfortunately, in the game, you don't get those.
I know you keep the preparation the same week by week. Do you believe in taking momentum from the previous week, and did you guys lose a chance to bring some into this game?
I don't know. I just have, I've been doing this a long time as a head coach and assistant coach, and you can't bring points with you from the week before. Each game is its own game. And you look around college football, there's a lot of parity, right now with the scholarship limitations, and that's why you get a Clemson and a Washington and a Washington State and different teams like that get beat, when you would think that wouldn't be the case. So you just got to prepare. There's a lot of good football players out there across the country. I thought their quarterback's an excellent player, and he's going to be their all-time leading passer. I got a couple buddies who were at the game who were pro scouts, and they're like, hey, he's a guy that's going to be in a camp for sure. Good backs. I think 81's a high-quality receiver. So, they got their share of good players. We knew that ahead of time, though.
What do you think about your new addition going on the scoreboard right now?
I think it's going to be neat. Really is. We're going to put the angry wave up there. They're getting it up there. All right. We appreciate the Kern family and everything they've done to help facilitate this. And I think it's another new and neat addition to Yeoman Stadium.
When you see last game against Tulsa, or I'm sorry, 2 games ago against Tulsa, how explosive the offense can be, what's your message to the players to be able to find a way to affect a game when things are going, leaning on what's normally working and trying to find a way to affect it in a different way?
Yeah, you just got to, we have our base plays, and we got to make them work no matter what we're getting. And then you got some, I'm not going to call them gimmick plays, but plays that you hope take advantage of their coverage and their front, that might be a little bit different. And, you just hope, that all 11 guys are on the same page. It's all about execution. When you get up there and you draw them up on the board, we generally have them all blocked. So every play looks like it's going to be a winner. But one guy didn't do his job, you got problems now. So it's just executing and having faith in the system and the play call offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game, and doing your assignment to the best of your ability. And then as a coach, you got to do a good job of matching your personnel where, you're taking advantage of your strengths and sometimes trying to hide your weaknesses as well. There might be some plays you like to run, but, you just don't have the hosses to run it. So you can be stubborn and keep running it, or throw that away and move on. So that's what you got to be able to do. That's something that, we talk about, on a daily basis is personnel. Part of my job, I think, is being a general manager and making sure that we're playing the right guys. Dontrell Hilliard, I don't think he got enough touches last week. We got to have good matchups out on the perimeter. You watch the tape, and who's better covering this guy or that guy, or whatever the case may be. And it might mean some minor modifications in how you're playing things, but you got to try to get your matchups as good as you can.
Last thought, I know you had touched on what Tulsa was able to do to Houston just a week later.
It's college football right there. I'm sure Houston felt like they were prepared, and I'm sure Tulsa, they would have sat around and pouted about the game they played out here. They would have got their butts kicked. You don't want to have a game beat you twice, right? And so That's college football.
Is that no better example for your team?
We talked about it on Monday. I talked about some of the upsets, and I said, who would have thought what happened to us, and who would have thought what happened to Tulsa would have happened to Tulsa? Not very many people. So you got to play every single week.
You expressed a lot of confidence in Jonathan Banks after the game. He obviously didn't have a good day for him. What about him makes you feel confident that he's going to bounce, be able to bounce back and play it off?
Well, he's played well for us. I think he's a tough-minded kid. He's very disappointed. I told him he's one of many guys who didn't play well. Unfortunately, the quarterback and the head coach get too much credit when things go well and too much blame when things go wrong. So I told him, join the club, buddy. I'll hang with you. Anybody else? Yep.
The whole passing game, when you watched it, it was a lot of different.
It's poor.
And the matchups were there, and you just couldn't hit.
Number one, good coverage by them a lot of times. Number two, we missed a lot of shots. We had some guys open and we missed them. We got to hit them. And sometimes that's not always the quarterback. You see guys change gears. They're running, he's looking the other side, and all of a sudden they throw it, they speed up, and it's too late to recover the protection. He couldn't hold it and pat the ball one more time. Got beat inside a few times. So that was a team effort too.